This is Valley News Live at 10.
You aren't the only one who spent their day shoveling out after this weekend's storm. Check this out. This video was taken at Hector International Airport this morning. People continue to dig themselves out after the storm dumped about 13 inches of snow in the metro. The city of Fargo is asking for you to be patient as crews continue to work on snow removal. The process of snow removal in South Fargo is proving to be a challenge due to the amount of snow that was blown into the area. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie joins us in South Fargo with what conditions are like now. Courtney, what's it looking like out there?
Katie, things are looking a lot better here in the metro today. The interstates are back up and running, and you can actually get around through these residential areas. But there's still a lot of cleanup to be done. I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of us are going to be shovel in hand for the rest of this week. There's a lot of shoveling being done here at this South Fargo apartment complex today, but not in the way that you might think. I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me jump behind my camera here really quickly so that you can get a look. This is a drift that built up in front of the apartment complex doors. If I zoom out a little bit, you guys can see here, it's as tall as this roof, but that's not stopping neighbors. I spoke to the couple that's actually responsible for digging this tunnel right here. It goes all the way through to the door. They say it took them about 2 hours to do this. Now, this is actually a really big problem because a lot of the exits over here look just like this one, minus the tunnel, of course, but this is a really big fire hazard. And this tunnel, it's doing the trick for now, but as you might imagine, it's not a permanent fix. Neighbors say they just hope that something is done sooner rather than later in case of an emergency. Reporting live in Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Courtney. And as plows continue to clear the roads, officials are reminding you to give them space. The heavy, wet snow is adding pressure on roofs and decks, and winter isn't even close to over. One person said their deck collapsed in South Fargo Sunday morning. They say they tried cleaning the snow off, but the glass sliding doors were frozen shut. The wet snow we got these past few days have also made it harder on snow blowers and snow plows. A Fargo roofing company is urging people to be proactive in removing snow as it falls.
Just with the last couple days with the wet snow, and our deck was filling up, and
a lighter snow, sometimes you can let that ride for a while, but just remember it's early in the year, so there's probably a good chance we're going to have quite a bit more snow coming our way.
Roofing companies have already been getting calls for snow removal. Make sure to have an appointment scheduled, and keep in mind it may take a few more days to clear the snow. We're going to continue our coverage into the following of an investigation into a fire at a hangar on Minot Air Force Base over the weekend. Faith Hatton brings us the latest developments.
The fire is out now at a hangar here at the south end of Minot Air Force Base. Now begins the investigation into what caused the fire. This is what the hangar looked like Saturday afternoon, engulfed in flames. This video shared thousands of times. Crews battled the fire into Sunday afternoon. No one was inside at the time. The fire broke out in the hangar at 5:15 in the afternoon. We're told it was declared extinguished shortly before 3 p.m. Sunday. A base spokesperson says the hangar has never been used for storing aircraft. The structure was used to store overflow snow removal equipment and transient alert equipment. The Minot Rural Fire Chief tells us his department provided mutual aid with a truck and 5 crew members.
We're also looking to learn more about what exactly was lost in the fire and whether it will impact any base operations. During the winter weather season, troopers with the North Dakota Highway Patrol are one of the many that decide when it's safe to travel and when to close roads. Before a storm strikes, a team at the Department of Transportation building decides where to send crews. If snow removal becomes dangerous, the DOT issues a statement to close the select roads.
The biggest challenges that we have is if those motorists try to bypass those road closures and travel and then get out there and get stranded.
As high winds continue to blow across the eastern portion of the state, crews say plowing operations will continue until the roads are completely clear. This year, 97 people have died in car accidents in North Dakota, but the only acceptable number is 0. Vision Zero is a national campaign that works to make that a reality. The Department of Transportation is aiming to keep that number under 100 for the year, which would be the fewest fatalities in 15 years.
It really is a collaborative effort, and we are seeing a decrease each year. So really hoping we stay under that 100 fatalities, and we'd love to think it was all because of our Vision Zero efforts, but we know that a lot of different things play into that role as well.
There were 106 fatalities in 2018. The past year's population growth in the United States was the slowest in a century due to declining births, increasing deaths, and the slowdown of international migration. Figures show the U.S. grew from the middle of 2018 to the middle of 2019 by almost 0.5%, or about 1.5 million people. The U.S. population stood at 328 million this year. Experts say that's the slowest growth rate in the U.S. since 1917 and 1918, when the nation was involved in World War I. Here in North Dakota, U.S. Census Bureau leaders estimate the state has more than 762,000 residents as of July. That number is nearly 4,000 more than last year. The census reduced last year's count by roughly 2,000 people. Governor Doug Burgum says revisions tend to get bigger by the end of the decade. It's an alarming trend. The suicide rate for female veterans is twice as high as the rate for females who did not serve in the military. That's according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Our Washington Bureau's Jillian Angeline meets with a veteran to discuss this disturbing statistic and find out what they're doing to change that.
Just grab my teddy bear and lay down.
7 years ago, Navy Hospital Corpsman Tanzania Johnson tried to take her own life. She survived her attempt, got help, and now wants other female veterans to know they're not alone.
People don't know that it's okay to not be okay. Like, you're not okay.
Johnson says being a female in the military is an uphill battle.
Especially as an African-American female, I have to fight 2 stigmas.
A recent report from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs said the suicide rate for veteran women was 2.2 times higher than non-veteran women, much higher than their male counterparts.
She may be suffering in silence, and they're thinking and believing suicide is their way out.
But it's not, says Sharisa Jackson, the chief medical executive at AMVETS and an Air Force veteran, is running a hotline to help veterans heal.
Good morning, AMVETS.
Jackson says hotlines like these make a difference, but organizations also need to collaborate on ways to lower the alarming trend. Arizona's Republican Senator Martha McSally, a veteran herself, says she understands. She wants to expand veterans' treatment courts and encourage veterans to lift each other up.
Remind them of their core values and why they served, and connecting back into their own sort of honor and resilience.
She also supports non-traditional therapies like nature retreats and oxygen therapy in a hyperbaric chamber.
It has to be a holistic approach, and at the community level.
Healing therapies Johnson welcomes.
Support it 100%, yes.
Johnson is writing a book to share her experiences to let other veterans know there's help out there. In Washington, I'm Jillian Angeline.
If you or a veteran you know needs help, call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
All right, another band of snow making its way through the FM area. You're looking live from our Luther family of Ford 32nd Avenue South, right at I-29, the exit there, and a little bit of snowflake activity taking place there. Here's a look at our camera here in South Fargo at the I-94 corridor. And again, roads are mighty slippery out there. 19 degrees out at Hector. 2 is what it feels like. Our wind's still gusting over 32 miles per hour. Now, that wind direction is from the north-northwest, and that means snow just to the north of the roadways blows over the top and continues to keep it icy. Hearing from local law enforcement that they really want you to slow down out there. A lot of ice has been reported in and around the Rothsay area, with numerous semis, jackknife, cars in the ditch. Here's East Grand Forks and Highway 2, a little bit of activity going on there. And this, Interstate 29 at Sisseton, ice and snowpack covered. It's really going to be slow travel. Give yourself time, slow way down, and just arrive safely. Here's a look at some of the equipment used by some of our viewers to get dug out today. Kim, thanks for uploading your photo. And yeah, the herd is on the way. Jim, thanks for sharing your Sargent County photo. Here is a look. Well, there's that equipment again. I must really like that tractor. In fact, 19 in Fargo and Wahpeton right now, 12 in Cavalier, 19 in Jamestown as you cool out of the 20s, but we're still there in the Oaks and Goyner areas, 21 as well in Baudette at this hour. Those winds are gustiest where you see the colors on the map here, still over 30 miles per hour at times. So the blowing and the drifting and the wind chilly activity does continue, keeping things very icy. Anywhere from 3 to 6 inches in and around the Twin Cities throughout the day today, causing slippery conditions there. We've had a few little bands of snow spin their way back into our neck of the woods, mainly off in our easternmost counties from Detroit Lakes and Bemidji. But just here in the FM area, as we showed you on the Skycam, a little bit of flake flying activity right now. Here's the forecast. Your wind, it doesn't decrease too much as we go through the overnight hours, though by morning it will. So it stays gusty now until about 3 in the morning. And after that, the wind dies down. We'll see some breaks in the clouds and temperatures 5 to 10 degrees for most locations. That's how you start your Tuesday, New Year's Eve. Temperatures by midday only around 10 degrees. Some of us seeing some sun. And then as we head into your afternoon, we warm up into the mid-teens. And then for the evening, we cool off just a bit as you're going outdoors to maybe celebrate and ring in the new year. Expect temperatures in the single digits to around 10 degrees. Not much in the way of wind from the west, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not too bad to ring in the new year. 9 degrees to start your morning off. We'll make it up to 15 on a sunny afternoon. Again, winds much more agreeable tomorrow. So maybe that snow that you shovel and move off to the left will stay to the left. 15 in Valley City tomorrow afternoon. That's the same temperature we'll see in Detroit Lakes, 12 for Thief River, and 13 in Grand Forks on your way home from work. All right, teamwork is what it takes sometimes when we get walloped with this much snow. These 3 folks out there in the neighborhood working very hard on a driveway. That's how we do things to get her done here in the Valley. Thanks for uploading your photo. Here's a look at the planning forecast. Wednesday, wow, a nice warm-up for your New Year's Day. That'll come with a few flakes of snow, but it's really isolated in nature the way it looks right now. And then as we head into Thursday, it looks nice and warm, near 30 degrees. Friday, a little weather wiggle from Alberta makes its way through. That'll cool us off a pinch with a few flakes of snow, mainly north. A wow weekend in store with temperatures 25 to 30 here in the Southern Valley. And then you had better enjoy it because on Monday, temperatures begin to fall with the snowflakes that we get down to Arctic levels by Tuesday. We're talking a big, cold, sub-zero air mass parking over the valley on Tuesday of next week, the way it looks.
Well, it looks like a good start to 2020, but we definitely need to watch out after a week of 2020.
That's right. When we get into that, January type of spell, it can get cold.
All right. Well, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
Make sure you also have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. As the winter season begins to pick up steam, protect yourself from seasonal affective disorder. That's next on Valley News Live 10 at 10.